Hello, and welcome to the first real episode of Offsides and On One, a hockey podcast where we're loud, proud, and probably in the penalty box. I'm your host, Devyn Moore, and I'm here to talk all things hockey, and we have got a lot to talk about this week. From things like familiar faces and new places, to the young guns around the league showing off. Let's get right into this week's episode because we have a lot to go over. Alright, so hockey is finally back. Thank goodness. This past week was the first week of the 2025-2026 NHL season. It has been over 3 months since we last had hockey, and last Tuesday, October 7th, marked the very first day of the 2025-2026 season. It has officially been a week as I am recording this on Monday, actually. And hockey is so back, everybody. I mean, really. I'm sitting here recording this on Canadian Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to all the Canadians out there. So much has happened this week that it's ridiculous. I mean, obviously, we always start out hot, but goodness, it has been incredible, and I'm really excited to get into it. So first things first, we had a couple extensions announced this week, as we usually do. I'm not going to talk about the McDavid extension because that's old news. And there is another dead horse that I'm going to beat later in this episode. So hold on there. But some of the extensions that were announced this week was Mattias Ekholm signed a 3-year, $12 million contract with the Oilers. Kyle Connor signed an 8-year, $96 million contract with the Winnipeg Jets. And of course, Jack Eichel signed the 8-year, $108 million contract with the Vegas Golden Knights. Some exciting events that happened around the league this week would be Anze Kopitar made his final appearance as a season opener as he announced over the offseason that this is going to be his last NHL season. Gabe Landeskog played his first regular season game in 3.5 years, which is just crazy. It was so good to see Gabe back out there in a regular season game, see him with the C on that jersey. It was just great. Hockey's been missing him, and it's good to have him back. And then, of course, Jonathan Toews made his Winnipeg Jets debut. Obviously, he didn't play a lot of minutes in this game because, it's been a while since he's played a hockey game. But he still put on a show for everybody, and the welcome from the fans in Winnipeg for him was just absolutely incredible, and it was great to see. Not many people can come back from being gone that long and, play at their very best. Only one guy's ever done that, and that would be Mario Lemieux. And speaking of Mario Lemieux, the Penguins home opener, I just got to put it out there. We know that I'm a Penguins fan, so obviously I'm going to have to, make a little bit of fuss here. But Mario Lemieux was at the Penguins home opener, and there wasn't any special graphic on the screen or anything. He was just hanging out in his box, and nobody even knew he was there until they put him on the Jumbotron, and they put him up there real quick. The place came unglued. He was just standing up there like a princess out of his box and gave the crowd a wave, and just people lost their shit. He had a standing ovation for over 2 minutes. It was great to see, and it was amazing to see Mario back in the building for a game. We've missed him truly as Penguins fans. It's been a minute, obviously, because we haven't made the playoff in couple years now, so maybe let's make the playoffs this year and get Mario a few more games, get the crowd riled up. Another thing that happened at the Penguins home opener last week, was that intro video. If you watched the Penguins game fully, like from start to finish, you would have seen that intro video of the big three celebrating 20 years together as teammates, the longest tenure as teammates in North American professional sports. Chris Letang, Sidney Crosby, and Evgeny Malkin all together, and they had a beautiful video and played it on the Jumbotron, and literally it was enough to make a grown man cry. I was sitting there holding back tears, and I guarantee you there was people sobbing in the stands, because there was a beautiful shot of the three of them standing by the net looking up at the Jumbotron watching this all together, and I was just like, oh my god. It was just immediate rush of all of the emotions and all of the craziness that has been built up for this season. It's like, you know how the ridiculous rumors are, especially around Crosby, and it's always like, oh, Sid's gonna go here, Sid's gonna go there, oh, Malkin's gonna retire this year, oh no, he's gonna go play in Florida. Bullshit like that Penguins fans have to deal with on a seasonally basis. But just to see the three of them up there for one of the last times together, watching videos spanning 20 years back playing together, it was gorgeous. And now I just have one more thing to talk about with the Penguins, and then I'll shut up for a little bit until later. The Penguins also at that same game, wow, look at me talking about the same game for 2.5 minutes, revealed their third jerseys. I personally think these are gorgeous, in one of the best third jerseys we've ever had. I did see a lot of people on social media agreeing with that, but also some people absolutely despising them. I feel like this is a jersey where you either love it or you hate it, and there's certainly no in between, but I love it. The Kings also revealed their third jerseys at their home opener. They brought back the crown jerseys with a little bit of a twist. I thought these were great too. I don't think they're the best crown jerseys that the Kings have ever done, but they're good. I like them. They're great. And with the chrome domes, they look fabulous. Also, another thing about the chrome domes, the helmets this year, like across the league, are this semi-matte sort of finish. They look good, but it's strange with the chrome domes. And I guess I should explain what a chrome dome is. The Golden Knights have these super bright, shiny silver helmets. And this year they haven't been yet, but they're a little duller. They're not like super shiny as they were in the past, but they still look good, and they look great with those jerseys. And I think both of those third jerseys, the Penguins and the Kings, are winners. Hey, so this is Editing Devyn here, and I'm listening to this back, realizing that I was feeling very hateful this morning. Not really, but I just want you all to understand that what you're about to listen to is coming from a girl who has a Macklin celebrating card in the back of her phone case, and that same girl absolutely rode for Alex Nedeljkovic when he was in Pittsburgh. So, sorry Sharks fans that, I had to talk about it. But just know that I don't have any hate for the Sharks or Alex Nedeljkovic or anybody. So, take what you're about to hear with a grain of salt. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier in the episode, I said I was going to beat the dead horse, and here I go. Just let me go, let me do it. I just got it. Alex Nedeljkovic, what happened? Obviously, Ned throughout his career, he is really hot when he's hot, and then he is just like nowhere to be found when he's having a rough time. But God, that was rough. I mean, totally gone. Nowhere to be found. In the words of Steve Dangle, if you're a goaltender, tend the goal, because what the hell are we doing in overtime against the Golden Knights, babe? What are we talking about? Something's going on over there in San Jose that needs to be figured out, because goodness, not only did they lose that heartbreaker 4-3 in overtime versus the Golden Knights, they turned around 2 days later and lost on Thursday to the Ducks in overtime in a 6-7 game. They lost 6-7 in overtime to the Ducks. Another heartbreaker, but that game was so much fun to watch if you were able to catch that one. It was back and forth all night. It was great seeing both of those two young teams battle it out. All right, I'm done being mean to the Sharks now. I might bring it up again later just because I feel like it. But don't let those games fool you to thinking that the young guns of the league have any lack of talent, because you would be dead wrong. Macklin Celebrini looks great with that A. There you go, Sharks fans. There's a compliment. He has been putting on a show, him and Will Smith and Tyler Toffoli over there. I mean, Tyler Toffoli's not a young gun, but sorry. Sorry, Tyler. But Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini have been putting a show on over in San Jose despite those losses. Connor Bedard and Frank Nazar have been off to a hot start in Chicago. They have been looking great. Ben Kindle, Harrison Brunick, and Matthew Schaefer all scored their first NHL goals this week. It's just been incredible. I mean, again, woohoo, Penguins fan over here. Ben Kindle and Harrison Brunick, they might just be the second coming of Christ here in Pittsburgh. I sure as hell hope so. As many Penguins fans, I'm sure hope so. Not going to get too crazy yet, but those two have been great. They've been so much fun to watch. It's been amazing to see some actual young players on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and get into my game of the week. This week, I have an honorable mention, actually. And not to bring it up again, sorry Sharks fans, but it's going to be that game between the Sharks and the Ducks on Saturday night. The Sharks lose in overtime, obviously, but that game was so much fun to watch. They went back and forth all night. I mean, as soon as the Sharks scored, the Ducks came right back. Both the goalies, despite the goal count in this game, played pretty well. I thought they were fun to watch, and it was great to see those two young teams battle it out like that. But my real pick for game of the week is going to be Stars versus Avalanche. That game on Saturday, that shootout thriller was incredible. I'm a big goalie fan. I'm always pulling for the goalies. And Jake Ottinger, he's not real. There's no way. He made 35 saves in that game. A ridiculous save on McKinnon in the shootout. It was just incredible to watch. Otter stands on his head every night. I mean, he goes out there and puts on a show every night. But specifically this game was just incredible. And of course, Mikko Rantanen haunting the Avs with that shootout winner. I mean, it was great. That goal put the Stars on top with a 5-4 win. That whole game was incredible. Just those two powerhouses of hockey battling out, and Otter put on a show for us that day. In other news, this is just a little random thing that I saw circulating social media recently. Gary Bettman teased the Winter Classic in Buffalo at the Bills' new stadium for 2028 for the Winter Classic's 20th anniversary. And honestly, if he's going to keep it like true 20th anniversary, run it back like the beginning and do Penguins Sabres, we're so back, folks. Welcome back, the Pittsburgh Penguins playing the parade. If we get a Winter Classic, an outdoor game period, honestly, I know we've gotten a lot. The Penguins have gotten a lot in the last few years, but run it back. Like, run that game back in Buffalo. Do it on a weekend where it snows, and hockey's back. Hockey's already back, but it'll be extra back if we go ahead and throw an outdoor game in Buffalo, Penguins Sabres in the snow. I mean, classic full all-out brawl. Run it back, Gary. Please do something. But yeah, I mean, do you guys think that we're going to see a 2008 Buffalo Penguins rematch? And if so, who's taking that one? I mean, we're not sure what the teams are going to look like in 2028, but Buffalo, I know that Crosby goal still haunts you, so I'm sure they would be pulling to win that game. But, you know, you can only stop Sidney Crosby so many times. So. But fingers crossed that's what we get, because that would be incredible for hockey, and it would just be so much fun to watch. I also want to throw something in while I'm in this little miscellaneous segment of the show. Obviously, we know that the NHL dress code is no more. The players have no dress code when they walk in and out of the arena anymore. Used to be, you know, formal, suit and tie, looking nice. But there has been some absolute stunners this week when it comes to outfits. Of course, I got to bring up Patrik Laine. He always looks great. He's always best dressed. So he's an obvious shoe-in here. But I got to talk about Kevin Lankinen's outfit. The Flying V jacket was gorgeous. I mean, like, I don't care about the Canucks. I don't not like the Canucks, but I don't care about them. But this jacket is so cool. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please go look it up on social media, or maybe I'll throw it in the video here. But like, this jacket is amazing, and he makes it look great. Patrik Laine has put on some incredible fits the past couple of days. Like I said, he's always the best dressed with those hats and sunnies and everything he does. But just gotta mention him. The one day he wore like a not suede, what do you call, like a crushed velvet emerald green tracksuit with a striped shirt. He looked fabulous. It was incredible. So shout out to Patty Laine. Then this isn't like fashion, it doesn't have anything to do with the dress code. I guess it's technically on ice fashion, but Anthony Stolarz' mask is incredible. The like big leaf, like chrome leaf, and the whole thing is shiny, and the blue and the white, just everything looks so great. I'm going to try and find a picture of that as well to put up here, and if not, go Google it. But it's a gorgeous mask, and I highly recommend you go check it out or look at it here, because I don't know, it's just great. There's been a lot of great masks recently, but his really stuck out to me, and I just felt like I had to mention it to everybody here. Okay, so as of me recording this on Monday, October 13th at 2:30, roughly 2:30, the league standings, leading the league, it's going to be the Panthers and the Bruins. They're both tied at 6 points. Those two teams are also leading the Atlantic Division. In the Metro, we have a four-way tie between the Canes, Caps, Pens, and Rangers. They're all tied with 4 points. In the Central, we've got the Avalanche leading with 5 points. And then finally, in the Pacific, we have another tie between the Kraken and the Vegas Golden Knights with 4 points. Honestly, there's games on right now as I'm recording this. Obviously, like I said, it's Canadian Thanksgiving, so there's games on throughout the day. So this is probably going to change by tonight and by the time this episode goes up. But that's what it's looking like right now. Obviously, we're always tied like this early in the season, but I just thought it was so funny that we've got the 4-way tie in the Metro. The Penguins were leading that, and then they decided to absolutely shit themselves on the ice against the Rangers at home. Okay, folks, so now we're going to go ahead and get into my winners and losers of the week. If you listen to the last mini episode, I sort of explained this a little bit, but basically what this is going to be is my picks for winners and losers of the week, and it can be anybody. It can be players, it can be team staff, it can be fans, it can be moments, plays, saves, anything. Truly anything. So I've got some great picks this week as a lot has happened throughout the week. So I'm just going to go ahead and get straight into the winners. My first winner this week is going to be Justin Brazeau. What a dog. Truly, I mean, welcome to Pittsburgh. Tip your hat. Justin Brazeau, you are a legend. Welcome to Pittsburgh. He had scored 2 goals against the Rangers in the season opener at Madison Square Garden, and then scored another goal in the home opener 2 days later. He might be the second coming of Chris Kunitz here in Pittsburgh. Alright, that might be a little far, but he's pretty great. And it's absolutely great to see a player like him just pop off in the beginning of the season. He hasn't been given a lot of chances. When he was in Toronto, he was sort of hanging out with the Marlies for a while, and then he's bounced around for a little bit, and finally, Kyle Dubas was like, okay, one more run. We'll bring you to my new gig, and thank you, because it's working out for both of us as Penguins fans and for Justin Brazeau. My next winner of the week is going to be Anze Kopitar's Chrome Dome with that tinted visor. It's just absolutely legendary, absolutely incredible. And to go out there in your last home opener and just have incredible style like that, the dull-ish Chrome Dome with the tinted visor, he looked great. Sitting on the bench, he looked so cool. They did a real big zoom in on him during the national anthem, and I was like, he's looking great over there with that tinted visor and the lights reflecting off the shiny helmet. It was just incredible. Now, the next winner is going to be the fact that Cole Caulfield owns a Labubu. I saw this on TikTok. The Canadians posted a TikTok where they had their players guess who owned the Labubu. And they, asked, and everybody guessed. And then finally, the last contestant on the show was Cole. And he was like, the boo-boo! It was incredible. I was rolling. It was so funny. And I just think that, I don't know why it's so funny to me, the fact that Cole Caulfield has a Labubu. Because honestly, if I were to pick anybody on the Habs that would have one, it would be him. But it was just so funny. And I was just sitting there thinking to myself, what? It's a bright red, like shiny, glittery-eyed Labubu. Like, what is he putting that on? Is it on his keys? Is it on his backpack? What are we doing? Where are we putting that, Cole? Let us know. let the fans know. This is real insider journalism. This is what we want to know. And finally, my last winner of the week is going to be the ultimate Sabres crash out. If you haven't seen this, it has been all over social media, and it is hilarious. So basically, it's a Sabres fan after a game walking back to the cars or whatever. Like, they're exiting the arena, and this Sabres fan is absolutely losing his mind over the shutout that they had in their season opener. I'm going to go ahead and play the clip. Warning, he does say a lot of bad words, so I don't know. If you don't want to hear that, go ahead and skip. But it's so funny. So I'm going to go ahead and play that clip for you.
It's unbelievable. You gave her one fucking goal in a hockey game. 6 years old. That's how old I was when they made the fucking playoffs. I was at fucking Disney World. Every time I fucking life. Shut up.
So as you can hear, this Sabres fan was not very thrilled about their performance in their home opener, and I don't blame him. I mean, he said the last time they played the playoffs, he was 6 at Disney World. 2006 was the last year that the Buffalo Sabres were in the playoffs, so something's got to give over there in Buffalo, please. Now, folks, we have the losers of the week. And here I go again. The loser of the week, loser, singular, that's all I got this week, is the San Jose Sharks. I'm sorry, I had to do it. Look, something's got to give over there in NorCal, because what are we doing? You have so much talent over there, so much young talent. Let's figure something out in net, boys. Please. I like to watch the Sharks. I like Macklin celebrating. I like Will Smith. They're so much fun to watch. The Sharks' top line is so fast and so much fun to watch. But please, let's switch it up. I don't know what it's got to be. I mean, clearly, goaltending is one of their issues. But other than that, they look great. But God, the Sharks are the ultimate losers of this week. And I'm sorry. Next week, I'll be nicer to the Sharks, I promise. I don't know. Just keep harping on the Sharks, but goodness, really. Let's pull it together, please. And we actually have a bonus this week. This is a winner and a loser. But the fact that there were 14 games on Thursday, 16 games on Saturday, but not a single one on Friday. What? I just thought that was so silly. Just what are we doing? I'm sure, there's some logistical reason for that and scheduling, and that's above my pay grade. I don't know nothing about that. But really? I mean, all 32 teams played on Saturday, which was great. It was like hockey Christmas, but you can't watch all those games at once. I mean, how many games were on at 1 o'clock? There were so many. I can't think of the exact number, but it was a ridiculous amount. So maybe let's not do that again. Because also, I wasn't doing anything Friday, and when there wasn't any hockey on, I was quite bored. So let's please not do that again, Mr. Bettman and scheduling panel, please. So my pick for the game to watch this upcoming week is going to have to be Thursday's matchup between the Bruins and the Vegas Golden Knights. Like I mentioned earlier, both of these teams currently are leading their divisions, so it's going to be a great battle. There's so much talent on these two teams, and just to watch them go at it, it's going to be great. I think it's going to be a really entertaining game. My prediction for the score, I think I'm going to have to go with the Knights on this one. I'm feeling like a 3-2 Vegas Golden Knights win. If I predicted that right, I'm going to do a little jig, because just I don't know, but fingers crossed. I'm not putting any money on it. I'm too much of a puss to bet, but I'm feeling Golden Knights on this one. And yeah, I'm going to have to go ahead and say 3-2 Golden Knights. That's on Thursday. This Thursday, October 15th? I don't know. Whatever day this Thursday is at 10 o'clock. Bruins versus Golden Knights. I think it's going to be a good one. So certainly check that one out if you can. Okay, everybody. So this last segment of the show is going to be something that I'm calling, very fittingly, Bag of Hockey Cards. And it's exactly how it sounds. It's a giant bag, a giant tote bag of hockey cards. I was at home the other day and I was cleaning my room, and I realized just how many hockey cards I have laying around. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw these all in a bag, a Pittsburgh Steelers Pro Shop bag, in fact, and pick one randomly on the show, just for funsies. And these cards literally are a mixed bag, truly. The cards in this bag range from the 90s until now, just because I have so many random cards laying around. But yeah, we're just gonna go in there, mix it around, see who we get. I'll read the back of the card. If it's somebody I don't know, maybe we'll give them a Google, do a little research. But yeah, and maybe it can even be an omen for the week, but who knows? So I'm gonna go ahead. I pre-mixed the bag because I don't know if that's gonna be an enjoyable noise for the podcast, but I'm gonna go ahead and mix it around a little bit and pull a card out of it here. Okay, I've got one. The bag has spoken. Who is it? Oh my god. It's a San Jose Shark. Imagine that. It's Mario Ferrero. This card is from the 2021-2022 season. At this point, there's only 2 seasons listed on the back of this card. Mario Ferrero was drafted in 2017, for those of you wondering. And on the back here, we've got 2019-2020 and 2020-2021 seasons listed. And at this point in his career, he only had 3 goals. Wow. How ridiculous is that after me dogging on the Sharks this whole podcast, that I pull a Shark out of the bag of hockey cards? That's ridiculous. He had a goal the other night in that 6-7 game. Not to mention that again. Honestly, at this point, we're going to have to keep a 6-7 track because it's getting out of hand. like I'm like a 6-year-old. Every time somebody says 6'7", that's our pick from the bag of hockey cards this week. Maybe that's a sign that he's going to really show up for the Sharks this week. Hopefully not against my Penguins this weekend, but hopefully he's going to make the Sharks have a better season. So, Sharks fans, hold on and maybe hold Mary Ferrero a little closer to your hearts, because the bag of hockey cards has spoken. He's going to be the savior of the Sharks. All right, everyone. That's all I got for you this week. Come back, tune in next week for more hockey talk. Obviously, tune into every hockey game you possibly can this week, because there's a lot of great games, and I'm going to be talking about them all. So if you miss one, don't worry about it. Maybe I won't talk about them all, but I'll be talking about the big moments. So if you miss anything, tune in next week to Offsides and On One. Follow us on social media at Offsides and On One, all lowercase, on TikTok and Instagram. You can listen to this show on YouTube at Offsides and On One, and on Spotify, again, at Offsides and On One, all lowercase. Those will all be linked in the description. Thank you so much for listening. This has been a really fun first episode, and I hope you tune back in next week. That's all for me, folks. I'm your host, Devyn Moore, and this has been the first episode of Offsides and On One.